Okay, this is an example here, and it's a proof that we're going to do, and I want you to put this into your notebooks. The topic of this lesson, and this is lesson 4.6, the topic of this lesson is using congruent triangles to get other triangles congruent. So there's not any new material in this. The only thing new or different is the approach on what we're doing. And so as you can see here, the given is we know that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and we can see that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. And they want us to prove that TU, this part, is congruent to TW, this part. All right, so, and what we're going to do here is set up a proof then. So again, I'm going to mark what I know, the given. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. And remember, we're trying to prove that TU is congruent to TW. Now, here is what's different. It looks like most of the things that are given, and I'm going to put this, I'm going to highlight this so we can see this better. It looks like most of the things that are given is shown is working with these triangles right here. So I've got the green triangle, and then I've got the yellow one, right? So in other words, I can pretty easily get those two triangles congruent from what's given. The problem, though, is once I get the green triangle congruent to the yellow triangle, the problem is that's really not going to help me to get TU congruent to TW. And this is the part then that's new. So what we're going to do, here's our approach. We're going to get the green triangle congruent to the yellow triangle, but then we're going to use that to get some corresponding parts congruent. So in other words, once I get those two triangles congruent, then I could say then that this side is congruent to this side. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent, right? And then I can use that to help me to get actually this triangle congruent to this triangle. And this will make more sense once we go through it. So I'm going to erase this, and I'm going to remark what I know, in that angle 1 congruent to angle 2, angle 3 congruent to angle 4. All right, let's write down our given. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, and angle 3 is congruent to angle 4. Given. All right, step number 2. I'm trying to get, I'm going to remark this, I'm trying to get this triangle, I don't want this thick a mark there. So I'm trying to get this triangle right here. It's going to be very easy to get this triangle congruent to the green triangle from what's given. Because I don't have enough information to get any other triangles congruent. All right, so statement number 2. I could say that SV is congruent to SV, reflexive property. Now, I'm going to mark that. Now, do I have enough information to get the yellow triangle congruent to the green triangle? The answer is yes. By ASA, because I have an angle, side, angle in the yellow one, and an angle, side, angle in the green one. So I could say then that triangle USV is congruent to triangle WSV. Reason, angle, side, angle. Two angles in the included side are congruent. All right, now, let's use that fact now, since I have two triangles congruent. Remember, I can only use corresponding parts once I have shown that two triangles are congruent. All right, now I'm going to say that this side of the yellow is congruent to this side of the green. So UV is congruent to WV. Reason, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. All right? Now, and you're going to have a few markings here. Now, I'm going to erase what I have just so I can make this a little bit more clear. Now my approach is I'm going to try to get this triangle congruent to this triangle, the green one. And then I can use corresponding parts to get this, okay? So now, what do I have so far? Well, from statement 4, I know that side of the yellow is congruent to that side of the green, right? I also know that from what was originally given, that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, right? Well, what else can I use here? Well, I could say that in the yellow one, that TV is congruent to, in the green one, TV. Reason, reflexive property. So I'll mark that now. So now I have two sides of the yellow and the included angle, the two sides and the included angle of the green. So statement 6, I can now say that triangle TUV is congruent to triangle TWB. Reason, SAS, two sides and the included angle. Now my 7th and last statement, I can say that TU is congruent to TW. Reason, what usually follows two congruent triangles? Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So I can say that this side is congruent to this side, they're corresponding parts, and that's what we wanted to prove. So what we've done here is we've used the method, which we're used to. We've used the method to get two triangles congruent, and then use corresponding parts, and then you get another two triangles congruent to get to the part that we wanted to prove. And that's kind of the concept here of lesson 4.6, using congruent triangles to get other triangles congruent.